All right, so this Sunday, the Sunday following last week's Good Friday and Resurrection Sunday service, we were talking about the Holy Spirit being poured out 50 days later on the day of Pentecost in Acts chapter 2. And what's interesting, if you read Acts chapter 2 in verse 17, it says, "In the last days, God says, I will pour out my spirit on all people, and your sons and your daughters will prophesy, and your young men will see visions, and your old men will dream dreams," and so on. But the point that I want to point out here is that Peter, when the Holy Spirit falls in the upper room, and 120 of them in Acts chapter 2 get filled with the Holy Spirit, and people perplexed about what was going on, and they ask him what's going on. Peter says in verse 16, this is what was spoken by the prophet Joel. So Peter was calling the outpouring of the Holy Spirit in Acts chapter 2. He was calling those days the last days. But it wasn't the last days of the world. It wasn't the end of the world. It wasn't about the last days of all that we know in existence. It was about the last days of that old covenant of Moses and that system of sacrifice that so many of them were born under.